Do you ever wonder how you can properly utilize the power of Garou? Do you think he's too hard to master? Well, in this video, I will be giving you an extensive in-depth guide on how to use Garou, and I guarantee you that this is the most in-depth Garou guide you have ever seen on YouTube. So stick to the end, you will learn a lot. This guide is meant for players who already have the basics of understanding for Garou, so if you're a completely new player, I suggest watching other videos first before going to this one. Also, if this video gets 2,000 likes, I'll make an extensive guide on how to use Child Emperor. First of all, what makes a good Garou player? A good Garou player has these three traits: the ability to efficiently utilize their Peril, the ability to maximize their unpredictability on combos, and the ability to play mind games on their opponent. I will be explaining that later. Garou needs good M1 timing. Its M1 is a tiny bit slower than Saitama, so if you're transitioning from Saitama to Garou, you'll feel a huge sense of disproportion with your M1 timings. When you side dash and M1, a blue trail will immediately appear. This blue trail starts at the beginning of your M1, so you can visibly see your M1 timings. Try to M1 only when you're right in front of your opponent, and take your time with your M1s. Garou has a lot of neat text that can be used to your advantage. Here are some texts I will be quickly showing you. I will not be going over the basic texts since those have been covered countless times. To extend off of flowing water when they block, you have to jump, side dash, and use Hunter's Grasp all at the same time. This is a ping-based tech. To prevent your opponents from ragdoll canceling, you can kick them with your fourth M1, and when they're halfway done falling to the ground, you front dash. This is the uplift tech. It's basically where you use 3 M1s, and during your fourth M1, you jump, use your uppercut, and Hunter's Grasp all at the same time. This is only inescapable for people who have 100 milliseconds and above, while you are at low milliseconds. This is easily punishable with ragdoll cancel. To do this, you M1 right after your use Hunter's Grasp, and immediately front dash right after. I suggest delaying the first M1 by a little so they can get pushed back a bit further. Now for the essential techs. These are techs that make Garou extremely overpowered. True down slam works best above 75 ms, do 2 M1, and at the third M1 you jump and hold. The M1 comes first, and then the jump. This requires a more detailed explanation. This technique has been popularized already, but I still feel like I need to give you guys a proper breakdown. This technique is essentially the same thing as Twisted, but with a twist. Instead of doing a straight dash to land the Twisted, you do a slight curve at the beginning of the dash. This makes it so that your dash ends extremely quickly, hence the name Instant Twisted. To properly do this, I suggest first mastering the basic Twisted, then moving on to the Instant Twisted. You have to get the curve motion at the beginning of the dash fully mastered in order to do it consistently. I also highly suggest doing the curve at the side where you're most dominant on. For me, it's the right side. One more important thing. You have to time your fourth M1 perfectly. You have to front dash before the kick even starts processing. This ensures that you can be under your opponent when doing the tech. This is a trending tech that a lot of people are trying to learn with Garou. If you want to know how to do this, you first need to get down the timing of the jump. You have to jump right after lethal ends. If you can't do this properly, then you can't do the tech. I suggest practicing this timing on all pings until you have it mastered. After you've got the jump timing down, now comes the part where you front dash. After you jump, you front dash and immediately turn right or left, and when half of your front dash is used, you turn back. This is an extremely efficient way on doing this technique. You can also just do a very tight loop dash, but I prefer this way more. One of Garou's key strengths is its ability to be unpredictable. We need to know the amount of time your opponent is ragdolled after you use flowing water or lethal. This is so we can apply an extreme amount of pressure by doing lots of fake-outs, trying to bait their ragdoll cancel. This is basically just playing mind games on your opponent, and this is all possible because of Hunter's Grasp. Here's how you can bait their ragdoll cancel. One method is to just walk near them. This can cause your opponent to just straight up panic, causing them to ragdoll cancel. Another method is to do a sudden side dash towards them. They'll think you're trying to use Hunter's Grasp. If you don't want to do that, you can also just side dash and Hunter's Grasp right before they get up from their ragdoll. The amount of time it takes for someone to get up from flowing water ragdoll is 2 seconds, and for lethal whirlwind ragdoll, it's also 2 seconds. Another thing you can do is this extremely unpredictable fake out. To do this, you must act like you're going to down slam them by M1ing, and when you get to your third M1, instead of side dashing and down slamming, you side dash and use Hunter's Grasp. This works on 90% of the player base. Another factor of his unpredictability is his combos. After doing flowing water, you can do a lot of things. Side dash and use Hunter's Grasp, use lethal whirlwind, front dash, and even Peril. When up against your opponent, you can immediately go from flowing water to Hunter's Grasp to catch them off guard. And the next time you do flowing water, they'll ragdoll cancel. This is because when you get your opponent into a second combo, they'll most likely think that you're going to use the same combo extend you used last time, which was flowing water to Hunter's Grasp. This is where you do a Peril bait. You see how unpredictable that can be? You can also do this with lethal whirlwind. Maybe for the first combo you can jump and do flowing water, and the next time you use your Peril. Additionally, this can be even more effective if your opponent is on low HP. This is because when people are at low HP, they usually panic a lot, causing them to make rash decisions. When you use lethal on them, 80% of the time they will panic ragdoll cancel, allowing you to easily punish them with your Peril. The same thing applies to flowing water. Talking about Perils, let me teach you on how you can utilize it. Right after you ghost block, you immediately use your Peril. This is extremely unpredictable, and your opponent will 100% hit it if they hold M1. This trick is so good because all you need to do is wait for your opponent to side dash block, then immediately unblock after the first M1 and use your Peril. This is also a surefire way on getting a guaranteed Peril, since after you block your opponent, they're already using their M1s, meaning that you can just use Peril to punish them. This is a lot better than just randomly using your Peril based off of instinct. Fake down slam Peril baiting is just canceling your down slam and using Peril right after. This is really effective against people who are good at ragdoll canceling, since they'll always try and look for an opportunity to punish you. Another very effective Peril trick, it's basically just no end lag front dashing. But at the end of the dash, you use your Peril. I've seen a lot of people use this, and it works extremely well against counter dashers. This is basically where you backdash towards your opponent on purpose and immediately use your Peril at the end of the backdash. This can be good against counter dashers and people who like to M1 catch. A popular trick that was popularized by Kyoto, it's essentially where you downslam your opponent and immediately Peril right after. This would only work well against people who like to instantly counter dash after you ragdoll them. Now, I only suggest using backdash cancel for one move, and that move is flowing water. If you combine flowing water's range with backdash cancel's distance, you can connect impossibly far dashes. It's actually absurd. Combos are very self-explanatory. I'm assuming you already have a bunch of combos that you do yourself, but regardless, I'm going to be showing the most efficient ones. True down slam, front dash, lethal whirlwind, and hunter's grasp. This combo can be 100% inescapable if your opponent has high enough ping, but if you exclude the hunter's grasp, it's 100% inescapable for all pings, but it deals less damage. When doing the normal hunter's grasp variant without any down slam, you can potentially extend it by doing a no-end lag front dash. When doing a combo like lethal whirlwind to flowing water, I suggest side dashing in a circle before doing the flowing water. This makes you extremely hard to punish with ragdoll cancel, and you can sometimes even catch their ragdoll cancel if you do this. If you miss your flowing water, you can immediately use your Peril to catch your opponent off guard. This has worked on me a lot of times. If you stick to the end, you're a real one. I would appreciate it if you dropped a sub and a like, since this guide took a pretty long time to make and was very painful to put together. I appreciate your support.